Nikita had a technical interview for a data engineer position. Have a nice time watching. Could you give me a 2-minute intro of your experience?
Yes, for sure. So my name is Nikita. I'm a senior data engineer in Netscard. It's a global CDN provider. We are serving video content on our physical edges, and I'm um, working with the data from the different sources. I'm the senior data engineer, and I'm leading the team. And I do extraction, transformation, and loading all this data to our data marts for analytical engineer for our internal and external customers. Recently, I built the data infrastructure on AWS and Kubernetes with the tools Airbyte, dbt, Airflow for orchestration. Yeah, so these kind of tools, and I also able to do some tests for our medallion architecture models, and I'm also talking with the non-technical customers, stakeholders, and our internal management.
Why do you look for a new opportunity right now?
I was hired more than 2 years ago for the specific role to build data pipelines for the company, and I built almost everything. And right now, I'm just supporting pipelines. I'm not building. I'm not creating new data sources. That's why I'm looking for the new opportunity to grow, and that's why I'm looking on the market.
Let's go to the technical task. You have 3 tables. Table 1 is books. The second one is reviewers. Each of them could leave a feedback and it would be recorded in the ratings table. The task you can find in the left part of the screen. Please, give it a go.
Let me check. Tables are available to user books, reviews, and ratings. DDL statement create table, ID, title, year, author, and primary. Create table reviews, ID, name, primary. And also ratings, reviewer ID, book ID, rating, and rating date. Okay. First task. Find pairs to reviews such that both reviewers gave the rating to the same book. Eliminate duplicates, don't pair reviews themselves, and include each pair only once. Run reviewer page to return their full names and into 2 columns of the same row. Reviewer from the first column should have full name, preceding name of second reviewer, and alphabetical order. Okay. Expected result, reviewer 1, reviewer 2. Okay. Find a pair of the reviewers such that both reviewers gave a rating to the same book. Okay. Create a table. So I have here databases. And I can easily, for example, because it's the first time when I select everything from books, for example. It's CodePath, right? Environment ready and run to try it. For example, in the first step, I need to take reviewer name from ratings, and I would like to join ratings once again to get two reviewers' names with the same book ID, I think, and reviewer ID. So I will add the same table twice.
Yes.
And what else here? Reviewer. And also I need to add reviewers table. I can run here. Yeah, select. For example, if I need from ratings, from and review, допустим, rating, it could be R1 and join rating R2, and I need on if I want to add by, for example, book ID and also reviewer ID. Yeah, R1 book ID. It could be equal to, for example, R2 book ID, and here R1 name. Probably better to say rating, and R2 name. And also I need to add reviews. Oh, I need to add also and RT1. It's I need to add by reviewer ID. Reviewer ID equals to RT2 reviewers ID. Okay. So I can reviewer ID. I don't have a name here. I have name into the reviews table, and yeah, so I need to add reviews table here because I don't have the name here. Join review. Reviewers. Reviewers. It could be, for example, R1 as R1, and here, yeah. So I need to add reviewers table and get the names here, name 1 and 2, and it could be, I need to add reviewer ID and I think ID. Let me think. Could you give me suggestion here?
What is the relation between reviewers and ratings tables?
Reviewers and ratings, we have the rating, yeah. Reviewer ID and book ID. So better to say if ratings, I do the ratings, I do join for the rating too. I'm doing on book ID R1 and R2 by book ID. Yes, that is correct. And if I do, and I need to find the from rating 1 reviewer ID, and it should be not equal, it should be less than rating 2 and reviewer ID. Yes, and I need to join reviewers ID, reviewers as 1, and I need to add one RT1, for example, RT1, and reviewers ID equals to R1.id. So if I add here, I will have the first one, and I also need to do the same join with the second one, reviewers table R2 as R2, and also I do the same on RT2 reviewer ID, and do the same reviewer ID equals to R2.id. They are, because they have the same relationship. And I need to do, I think, order by, I remember that. It's got a full name to the reviewer ID in alphabetical order. Yeah, order by reviewer and reviewer 1 and reviewer 2. Let's check. RT1. Yeah, I think right now it looks better. I remember it's also eliminate duplicates. Don't pair reviews with themselves and include each pair only once. So, but I need to define how can I filter by the same pairs, right? For example, if it's duplicate, I just need to, I think, add distinct here for
Your code works, but could you change it to look more readable?
yeah. For example, we can write something like let me think. What the first I need to add? Maybe if I do reviewers or rating, let me think how it should be better organized. Boom. Maybe I need to write for ratings table first, and after I will link the second select to this reviewer pairs, for example, and do sorting, and also adding reviewers table for example reviewer pairs as for example let me think. Okay, select from. I can use the same thing here. Yeah, so I would like to I can stick with the same naming as RT1 and RT2 because it's better for me right now. I can use reviewer ID from ratings table and RT1 select RT1. I will name it later in the better format. And I will do I need to do RT2 reviewer ID. I will name it later. And also, I think if I'm doing CTE, I need book ID because they are linked to each other. So I can take it from RT1, if I'm not mistaken. RT ratings. Yes, book ID. RT1 book ID, and I need to join second table. Yes, I need to join second table. Join ratings RT2 on. I will add the same here. No, not the same actually. If I do add by ratings 2, and I need to join by ID, book ID, and reviewer ID.
Mhm.
Yeah, RT1 book ID equals to RT2 book ID and do the same thing RT1 reviewers ID less than RT2 reviewers ID. What else I need? What about book ID? Book ID.
Okay, that is fine. From your resume, you are familiar with the Glue data catalog.
I'm using actually files in S3 bucket. I'm accessing throughout the inside the AWS, and I'm usually storing the data in the Parquet files because it's more easily and fast performance and processing saving into Parquet files. And recently I did a POC on a Apache iceberg on AWS Glue, and but we still sticking to Athena.
What kind of files do you use to create those catalogs?
Or ORC file,
Okay.
ARC file, and just regular JSON, CSV files, because the
Okay.
data could be stored in different structures, semi-structure, unstructured data. So, but the unstructured data it's not related to this.
Why are Parquet files fundamentally better than CSV files?
So it's a good question because Parquet files are have a compression and it's a columnar storage. But CSV it is just like a text file with columns. And in the Parquet file, the compression maybe 10 times more than just a common standard file. And it's the actually using the Parquet files, as I said, it's an open opportunity to build lakehouse with iceberg.
Let's simulate a situation. There is a new table imported into S3 bucket. We would like to make it visible directly to a data analyst. Warehouse is Redshift and BI tool is Looker, and they are already connected.
So I have a proposal here. I can use, for example, the tool on AWS. It calls Redshift Spectrum. I can read with that tool from S3 bucket, for example, similar to Athena,
Okay.
but using a Redshift compute. So it's common actually. It's a common solution. And with dbt, I can use dbt external package to build tables in Redshift and make like dbt source and use Redshift Spectrum or directly connect to Looker.
How we can do it without using Spectrum? Do you know about glue crawlers?
It's grabbing data from the different catalogs, right? And we can scan, for example, S3 data to build catalog table for
Okay.
our solution. Yeah, it could be. And as I remember, it's also one feature in Redshift to enable use glue catalog on the Redshift.
Could you tell me the difference between SQL database and Snowflake and Redshift?
The first thing that comes into my mind it's the OLTP versus OLAP. So it's transactional or just for analytical purposes. OLAP. And also it's different for compute. It's like a different compute power. With Snowflake or Redshift, we can set the compute, but for the Postgres, it's just our own machine or Kubernetes container, right? And it's slightly different. I mean, significant different, not slightly. Usually in Redshift we have distributed cluster, and we are taking care about just data distribution to avoid data skew, and we should design data tables with the proper distribution. And
Okay.
Postgres and MySQL is just like for our home projects, for pet projects database. It's the completely different, and we also need to set proper distribution and sorting key for the partitions, and also the clustering key. So it's the biggest difference. And also Snowflake and Redshift, it's a columnar, and also it's massive parallel processing thing. So it's the same if we compare Postgres with the Snowflake or Redshift. We can compare as the SMP and MPP, multi-parallel processing. It's the completely different approach, and we can scale out MPP.
Could you expand on what database uses what type of methodology?
I know that Snowflake it's a columnar database, and we are doing everything because Snowflake it's like a service, and we are not doing a lot of stuff there because it's almost everything under the hood. And if you would like to know more about the Redshift it's a platform as a service. It's different, but also we have a serverless option in the Redshift. I think you are using Redshift more, right?
Yes, we are using Redshift. Are you familiar with different data modeling techniques?
It's the dimensional modeling, and it's also I know about the different approaches, data vault, and I know it's like one big table also, but I usually use the dimensional modeling versus the one big table.
What about the Snowflake schema?
Snowflake, it's slightly, I think, different as a star schema because usually for the, I think it's a third normal form usually, but based on the Iman approach, I think it's just alternative for the Kimball approach, because Kimball it's a dimensional modeling, and Iman it's slightly different data modeling.
Imagine you have two tasks. One task is to work with software engineers, second with an analytics team. Which modeling technique will you use in those cases?
For analytics, I will use the dimensional modeling. For the backend, I will suggest to use third normal form for data, and because it's easy to connect BI tool like Looker and Tableau. Yeah, usually just dimensional model everywhere, because in star schema the best solution, I think.
What sorts of projects did you do with DBT?
In DBT, it's the most important, I think, tool for the data transformation that I used ever. Sorry. And I'm using actually medallion architecture for my DBT models. I'm creating the based like source, bronze, silver, and gold layer, and I'm creating the test everywhere using internal tools like not null, accepted values, freshness tests, for the DBT models. Sometimes I'm using macros. What else? So I'm getting the data from the source, putting to the bronze layer without any transformations, creating the silver model based on the bronze layer, and after that creating fact tables and for the gold layer, and also data marts for our usage. I am also contacting with ML engineers. I'm creating the feature store for them. We can discuss the whole requirements, and I will find this information and build for them the feature tables.
For example, you load a table in the staging layer. Is there a way, after completing all models in silver and gold, to drop that table automatically?
I think DBT supports the temporary tables easily. Usually I'm not using, but I read about this. I think we can also use, for example, pre-hook to
Right.
like drop the table. Yeah. So
Okay.
we have a pre-hook and post-hook, and we
Right.
can use in the post-hook, for example, drop the table if exist and point to the temporary table. Or, for example, I know that we can add in the end of pipeline the like instruction to the project DBT project YAML file with the on run end. I think it's correct.
Have you used Spark or PySpark in the past?
Yeah, PySpark
Okay.
and the PySQL under the hood. Sometimes in my past career I used pandas. I also observe recently new tools like, for me, new tools, Polaris, just pandas data frame, and PyArrow. They are doing the same, but they have different pros and cons.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Got it.
Spark for big data processing that can fit to the traditional ETL, for example, data warehouse.
I think we are done. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question about batch and streaming. Do you use only batch processing right now? And which data sources I will use on the current position? Do I need to ingest your data pipelines for a different company and process it on my side? And my last question about your feelings about how do you find your job? Are you tired? Are you burnout? Or are you like very happy with this position? Thank you for your answers.